Charlie Kirk's assassination.
Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk's.
Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk has passed away.
The women's right to work.
Trans boyfriend.
These people are full of political uprising, his assassination.
What I am doing is protecting this country.
Murder.
Not some random guy who got mad.
Heinous assassination.
I will be an enemy of you.
I don't even know where to begin. There's nothing like for me to build up to. This is crazy. Hello baddies, welcome back to my channel. This is gonna be a different type of video. I don't think I've ever had a video this strong and heavy on my channel. I know it's probably gonna attract new eyes and new viewers to this channel. This is not the type of content that I make clearly, but due to the recent events that happened and the recent news, I want to talk about everything. I don't just want to talk about celebrities and influencers, everything that everyone is talking about. I want to talk about, and especially what just happened this week is insane. It is not normal. They are lying to us and you are eating it up. I'm not a journalist, I'm not an investigator, I'm not any of that, so I don't even know how to dissect this. All I know is that this is a cover-up. As clear as can be, it is a cover-up. None of this is normal. The story doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense in any way. The math does not match. There's something in the water and it's not fish. As a lot of you have seen and have heard, read about this past week on Wednesday, I believe it was September 10th, the night before 9/11, Charlie Kirk was assassinated in public in front of 3,000 people at his event, at the first event that he was having for the tour for the fall of his Turning Point USA event in Utah. If you don't know who Charlie Kirk is I get chills. If you don't know who Charlie Kirk was, he was a conservative Christian young man, 31 years old, influencer. He would go around to college campuses, have debates with the students, dialogue, ask questions, conversate about politics. That's what he would do. His organization was called Turning Point USA that he's the co-founder of. I think he's amassed probably over 30 million followers on several of his platforms, which was what leads me to believe if anyone wanted him gone or eliminated was not because of his free speech, because of his opinions. I think it has to do more. A lot of us have opinions. He's been having his opinions for years. He's been going on tours for years. So why eliminate him now? It's very clear. I think they're assassinated because of their influence. If they influence a lot of people, a mass of people, a generation of people to start thinking and waking up and thinking differently, and somebody didn't want that to happen. So the assassination happened September 10th around 12 in the afternoon, so around noon. And when I first saw about it, I saw about it maybe in the afternoon, late afternoon. I found it on TikTok. I scrolled on TikTok. It was around later than the noon. It was like Miami time. It was probably maybe 3 p.m 4 p.m and I see the news that he was shot. What do you mean he was shot? Somebody being shot again? I'm thinking, oh, he's shot but he's okay. And TikTok limits the videos because of the community guidelines. So I go to check the news on X to see, you know, what's going on with his recovery in the hospital, some news like that. I'm not thinking nothing because they were not saying yet. It had not been announced on TikTok yet that he had passed. I had seen Elon Musk tweet, the shot looked really, something about the shot looked really bad. He'll be lucky if he makes it. Something like making it seem it was really severe. I hadn't seen the video. I saw the video, it came up. The moment the bullet enters, and it I don't know, the video seemed like it entered through his neck. See a small red blood dot, and then it starts getting bigger. It happens so fast. He jolts. His hands are gripping hard. One of the hands had his mic. There's another mic here on him, on his shirt, probably for the videos that he clips for TikToks and all the reels that he does. In seconds, gushing out of his neck, and he starts to fall over. These are events like 9/11. These are events like JFK. These are events like Donald Trump's almost assassination. These are not normal events. These are events events that you see them in your lifetime and you never forget where you were when you saw them, how it happened, what you felt. They are traumatizing. To see those images online is not normal. It should not happen, but it did. Supposedly they took him to the hospital. We still had not heard the announcement of him being passed. When I saw the severity of the amount of that was gushing out of his neck, even if he survived that and the hospital and they saved him, there was no way that he would have gone back to normal. If he would have survived, he might have stayed as a vegetable. It's a fact that the bullet struck the carotid artery.
So hard to survive a gunshot wound to the neck. All the vital structures are within centimeters of each other. See the vasculature in red and blue? That's the carotid artery and the jugular vein. A single bullet can cause massive bleeding before it's even possible to compress or repair those vessels. And look, the trachea is right next to it. This is absolutely critical for an airway. And the spine and the spinal cord is immediately behind the trachea. So a bullet here can result in immediate paralysis. And if the bullet is high enough, it can stop the ability to breathe. And the bullet doesn't just pass through. As it goes through the neck, it creates a huge ballistic effect, up to 40 times the diameter of a bullet. So the blast effect from a bullet, especially a high velocity bullet, can transmit to all these important structures. And this cavitation will shred the soft tissues, making a repair difficult or even impossible.
His face, you could see, it looked like he was gone on impact. Like it looked like he was gone, even if they would have, even if it saved him. And anytime these assassinations happen, or these attempts happen, it's never a regular Joe Mo, bro. It's never a regular guy. It's never a black and white. It's never a simple, oh, someone woke up today and decided to act crazy. These things are planned. There's a machine behind. This is not normal. We're going to get into this video of what the inconsistencies were in their story, of what they told the public, what the facts are, and everything that came up online that I was able to get. I didn't want to make this video so soon because the things keeps changing, stories keep changing. I wanted to gather enough information to try to piece a couple of pieces. I just know that the story doesn't make sense. This was a witness that was at the event 10 yards from Charlie Kirk and asked the person that was next in line to ask the question what he was going to ask. He was going to ask about transgenders. He never mentioned guns.
I was piecing things together. And it was really weird because the second guest that I talked to, before I went and asked him the question, what I was going to ask him, he was talking to him about how he was going to ask about transgenderism or something like that, but nothing about shootings. And this is the irony that came to me, which was like, right when he asked that, not like 5-10 seconds later, he was shot. And not only that, right after that, someone confessed to it who had no weapon, which makes me think that it was clearly a setup and that multiple people were involved.
This was highly planned by professionals. I don't care what nobody says. This was multiple people involved.
So a couple things you want to look at here is this. Obviously, they've got the gunman on the roof, right? They have him. And someone says that they saw him walk along the whole top of that roof. If you look here, you can see where he actually stood up and shot. And I'm not going to, but right there, he actually stood up. So he did the shot, stood up, and he ran off. Now, chances are, if you guys are looking at this, if you read, it says it right here. This person saw it, Omar, right? So Omar says, Charlie Kirk is coming to my college tomorrow. I really hope someone evaporates him, literally. Let's just say something big will happen tomorrow, okay? And if you guys want to see who Omar is, this is Omar after, and now, right there. So there's Omar, and he's the one who said, hey, something big might happen.
Okay, so we've established what happened. First, they caught this guy out of nowhere, this old guy.
Shoot me! Shoot me! Was that you? We don't know if it's him or not.
He's saying he has the right to remain silent. Who's gonna think it was him? I don't know what made them think that it was him. I saw that, was like, hello?
It almost seems like there was a patsy, because you remember that older guy who was taken into custody. He was shouting that he would do it again. It turned out to be George Zinn. And ironically, George Zinn was also featured in many 9/11 interviews. blaming Al-Qaeda for the 9/11 attacks.
Because it's just not as simple as, oh, someone disagreed and decided to act crazy. No. I was stuck to my phone. I was glued to my phone reading about everything, what it could have been. I was reading so much. I was stuck to the screen so much that I got a migraine for 2 days. For the next 2 days, I had a migraine. As humans, we're not meant to consume so much dark news. I had to put the phone away. I wanted to step away from social media for a little bit, a couple of days, and I was waiting tentatively for the FBI, Kash Patel, to come out. Let's hear a couple pieces because it's too long to put the whole thing. So let's hear what the FBI said.
Charlie was shot at 12:23 p.m. on Wednesday. The first FBI agents arrived on scene in 16 minutes with chiefs of police at 12:39 and secured the scene. At my direction, the FBI released the first set of FBI photos of the suspect at 10 a.m. local time on 9/11. Shortly thereafter, the FBI reward of $100,000 was released at 10:45 a.m. local. Myself and Deputy Director Bongino arrived on the scene at approximately 5:30 p.m. At approximately 8 p.m., where at my direction, the FBI released a never-before-seen video. The suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period. This would not have been possible without you, the media, and you, the public. That's why we went so public, so fast, and we're so transparent, and we're committed to that transparency.
Trump praises FBI director for speedy capture. First of all, they didn't capture nothing because supposedly the father turned him in.
Video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark-colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices bulges, capital OWO, what's this?" ? Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist!" ! Catch! ! A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Ciao Ciao," and a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO."
The FBI releases this image of who the suspect looks, what the suspect may look like. This is what the image is. I'm gonna put it somewhere here. I'm gonna put it here because I can't find it right here. I'm gonna put it here. Supposedly, it was enhanced by AI to make the picture clearer than what the security camera could capture. The FBI released the video of the guy jumping off the roof after the assassination. Supposedly, wearing black clothes on a white roof. These were the images that was released of the guy with a veteran's shirt. A young guy, it doesn't look in the AI picture as like a 20-something. That looks like a 30-something to me. Well, the story is it's a young guy. He's a college guy. He has a roommate. The first couple of reports talking about that it was transgender ideology on the bullets. They don't show pictures of the bullets engraved. They don't show none of that. There's no pictures of no bullets engraved anywhere. We're just supposed to believe that the sky is blue. So the question before the shot was about transgenders and guns. Then they say the bullets engraved with transgender ideology, whatever.
This morning I can tell you that we have recovered what we believe is the weapon that was used in yesterday's shooting. It is a high-powered bolt-action rifle.
They released a picture of the shotgun. What is it? The high-powered rifle. They released a picture of the high-powered rifle here in the wooded area in a box, assembled. The video the FBI released of the man jumping off the roof, wearing black on a white roof, jumping off the roof with a backpack. Okay? Which means if he used the rifle, he had to have the rifle assembled to shoot. So he's jumping off the roof with it. He had to have disassembled the rifle, put it in his backpack, then to go into the woods, assemble the rifle, put it in a box like if it's going to Amazon, and leave it in the woods. Are we 10? This is it's just an insult. It's disgusting.
2 weeks ago, he started asking questions about Ghislaine Maxwell's father, who was an agent of this certain state. He started saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't believe the media on what they're saying about this state. Maybe we should look into AIPAC. This was a professional hit. This was 200 yards away with an elevated shot. There's no chance in hell some random kid did that. There were decoys in the crowd. They got taken into custody, and then the shooter just miraculously disappeared. Kind of reminds me of a certain president who was assassinated. It's weird.
Another weird fact. After Charlie passed, as soon as Charlie passed, President Trump is the first to announce his passing in a video. Is Trump a journalist? That's not normal. A president to be giving that news. Usually the news gives that news. Aside from that, let's say they're great friends, he's heartbroken, watch the video. I'm not gonna put the entire video, I'll put a piece of the video, because what's in the video is not normal. The video looks AI generated. It does not look like it's him speaking. Trump usually moves his hands a lot. Usually a person has more emotion speaking, is not all smooth and monotone. Besides that, the video has a glitch. Here it is.
Great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot. Charlie was a patriot. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America.
The video is AI generated, which makes us believe that that video had to have been generated before. How do you have a video prepared to announce a news that you don't know has happened yet?
I found the motherfucking archive. So, all right, this is obviously an archive. It's an archive website, and Amazon is the one who uploaded it to this. This is the book that everyone is talking about, or that people are talking about. It's written by Anastasia J. Casey, and it was indeed, if I scroll down, published September 9th, and only one person bought it, and his name is Dennis Williams, and I would like to see what the hell is in this book, so if anyone knows how to find this guy, please tell me. Hold on. Now, if we copy this link up here, hold on. Copy, we go to a tab. This is the official website of Amazon already. I'm gonna backspace, copy, paste, and enter. It's not on there anymore. Now, Anastasia Casey, you may be wondering who this woman is. Hold on, let me flip the camera. You may be wondering who this person is. She's a woman. She lives in Arkansas, and she is an interior designer. I already looked her up. Do you want to tell me what the frick an interior designer is doing writing a book about Charlie Kirk and publishing it literally a day before he got shot? I don't even think she knows that this book is published under her name. So I went ahead and found her social media, and I messaged her. Hopefully she answers me back.
Why is the president of another country going on national live news channel to talk about Charlie's death, give his condolences? Booked airtime segment on an American news channel, a president from another country, Bibi Netanyahu and Charlie. It's not like they were best friends, best buddies, close friends. Wouldn't you have other things to do than to be on an American news channel? Isn't that weird? What's even more of a coincidence is that on September 10th, let's see what happened on September 10th. Let's ask ChatGPT. While all of this craziness is going on, the world is turning upside down, on September 10th, the Senate voted against releasing the Epstein files. The Senate voted against releasing the Epstein files during the assassination taking place. The vote was 51 senators voted to table the amendment, 49 voted against tabling it. Only 2 Republicans voted to release the files, Josh Hawley and Rand Paul. First of all, I don't know why the Democrats are pushing now wanting to release the Epstein files. They've been having the Epstein files for years before now. They didn't want to release it. They want to release it now. Okay, perfect, let's release it. Now the Republicans don't want to release it. So why are none of you releasing the damn thing? Just release it. The more this is going on, the more you're hiding it, the more the public is going to ask for it. And it also came out that JP Morgan enabled crimes.
The Times, with a team of reporters and a ton of evidence, did an exhaustive investigative report that came out today. Top banks in the country, JP Morgan, is, their word, enabling Epstein's crimes over the years. The bank sets up accounts into which he transferred huge sums for young women who turned out to be victims of his sex trafficking operation. Wire transfers and cash withdrawals. Morgan ultimately processed over $1 billion, they estimate. They, quote, warn senior management, and they tabulate at least 4 times over 5 years, quote, the bank's leaders overrode those objections, continuing to serve Epstein.
And the fact that Trump comes out and says this.
Mr. President, right now there have been survivors of Jeffrey Epstein speaking at a press conference on Capitol Hill. They're calling for these case files, these documents to be released. And Thomas Massey, who is sponsoring a discharge position to get the House to vote on releasing those documents, says he doesn't believe you're implicated in these files, but many of your friends and donors may be, and he says that's why the Justice Department is redacting them and slow-walking the release. Is the Justice Department protecting any friends or donors, sir?
So this is a Democrat hoax that never ends. You know, it reminds me a little of the Kennedy situation. We gave him everything over and over again, more and more and more, and nobody's ever satisfied.
Of course, because you said that this administration was going to be transparent. You were going to have a transparent administration. Clearly, that is not the case. First of all, that's a slap in the face. Now it's a Democrat hoax. When he was running, he wanted to release everything, all the files to be released. The JFK files, the Epstein files, everything to be released. Okay. Now he doesn't want to release it. And the whole Epstein video is a whole nother video. We're talking about Charlie Kirk in this video. We can do a whole nother video for the Epstein video, because that's a mess in itself. Their whole story is a mess. That's another story that doesn't even make sense with their Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi. They can't even get their story right. They voted against releasing the files on the same day of the assassination. Let's keep going. Story from the FBI is that the father asked the son confessed that he did it, that he was gonna unalive himself because he wasn't gonna turn himself in. Then he takes his son to some minister, some guy. Then the guy calls the FBI, turns the kid into the FBI. Kid has a roommate. Then they find out that the roommate is actually together with the suspect in a transgender relationship. They want to attach transgender so much. I don't understand nothing. Even if the roommate was transgender, what does that have to do? It's just like un yogur. Nothing makes sense. The picture of the suspect in custody does not look like the picture the FBI released of the man. And even more, knowing that the picture was clearer with AI enhancement. AI was helping clear up the picture. It should be an even more accurate, more clear picture. Shouldn't be a different picture. The suspects should look alike. They do not. That is what it looks like. I'll put it here. I don't know about you, but that doesn't look like the same guy. I don't care if it was on a proximity, an estimation. If AI can make the president a good video, then I'm sure AI can make an accurate image of the suspect. Don't you think? Videos circulate after the assassination, hours later, to take off the camera behind where Charlie Kirk was sitting, touching the chair, tampering with a crime scene.
Safety team is here. I just heard them say the active shooter, Charlie Kirk, has been shot. Charlie Kirk got hit.
Isn't it a crime scene? Shouldn't it be closed off? After Bibi Netanyahu's first appearance after the assassination, he goes on to another segment with, I don't know who this girl, this blonde lady is, and they ask him if he had anything to do with it. Yeah, because he's gonna tell you he did.
Before I let you go, I want you to address one thing, and it's just the absurdity of it. Some of the internet rumors that somehow Israel is behind the Charlie Kirk murder, and I don't believe it for 1 second, but I want you to make a statement. It's so absurd.
That's insane. That's insane. Israel also changes the orbit of the moon. Israel pushes the sun. I mean, the whole thing it's not only insane. I think it's so absurd, so stupid, and so ridiculous. You can't believe that people are saying that. They just found the perpetrator. They'll get to the bottom of this.
Oh, and he brings up a letter that Charlie wrote to Bibi.
He said, he wrote me a letter on May 2nd this year. He said, one of my greatest joys as a Christian is advocating for Israel and forming alliances to defend Judeo-Christian civilization.
Supposedly that they were going to meet in 2 weeks, and they had a friendly relationship. Well, Miss Candace Owens, who was very close to Charlie Kirk, says that what Bibi Netanyahu said was written in the letter is not what Charlie wrote in the letter.
In May, Charlie was concerned about Israel and their influence on American politics and how they were pushing things that he felt were in conflict with his beliefs, free speech, here in America. Bibi's holding it up like Charlie just in May said, hey, you know what? I just want to write a love letter to Israel. That's how it was presented. Would you guys agree? That's not how it happened.
So why would you lie on national television if that's the case? Show the letter. There's suspicious videos of the security around Charlie moving weird. When I first saw the videos, yes, they were weird, but it didn't really make sense to me how, even if they were signaling, they're accusing the security of signaling, having it been an inside job. If they're signaling, if someone is shooting from the roof in a scope, you have to be looking through the scope, you have to be supposedly breathing, have to be calm, your breathing has to be. So how can you be looking if they're signaling at you 2 football fields away, if they're signaling at you, and how are you looking at the signals and looking it through the scope to shoot? So that's why I didn't pay attention until I started thinking. I was like, well, maybe the guy on the roof never shot anything. Maybe the bullet didn't come from the roof. Maybe they had planted someone on the roof to show video of someone coming off the roof. And maybe they were signaling, the security was signaling maybe between each other, because if it wasn't the roof, so then who shot it? They're saying that it was the guy with something, holding something behind his elbow. I don't think it was that, because he's not even looking. How can you know for sure that it's gonna shoot in the target?
We are a little bit aware of hand signals being thrown
Watch this.
up. And these 2 men need to really be looked into.
Sniper.
With some of the sniper looking signals, especially coming from the guy in the white and the guy in the black.
It's explaining. A single hand lever from the body, put the palm down or moving in horizontal repeat means commence firing.
Wow.
When executed rapidly, it means to increase the rate of fire. When executed slowly, it means to decrease the rate of fire. Okay, keep it going. Take the shot.
Go for it.
That's one.
Boom.
Let's just say.
Yeah, let's just say.
But the other thing could be.
What?
The other thing could be this, guys.
So it's first the guy with the hat, then it's the guy with the arm. And if you tell me, well, yeah, he's fixing his sleeve. No, this is how you fix your sleeve. You tug on it. That's not what it was, okay? He did like a like a weird thing. And then it's the guy in front of Charlie looking, and his reaction is not a normal reaction. And then there's a video of a drone flying over the event.
Currently there's been a shooting.
So there were two thoughts that came up online. One was that the drone could have been the shooter, and the other one was the mic that Charlie had on his shirt could have, I don't know, exploded or shot through his neck. I don't know. You guys, obviously I don't look like I know anything about guns. I've never shot a gun. I don't know how they work. I don't know anything about guns. If it was the mic and the mic had let's say they bugged the mic had something, the shot was here, the mic was here. How could it have? Then they're talking about no splatter behind the back. On the background, there was no splatter of blood. All the blood came gushing out this side. Why didn't the blood come gushing out forward? It came gushing out to the side. And the guy in the black looks over at the guy in the white making the signal. Then he makes the signal with the arm. And a second later, Charlie is shot. Are you playing with us?
Did you notice the strange smile on the man in sunglasses just before Charlie Kirk's death? 3 details suggest he wasn't the only one involved. When the loud shot rang out and the crowd panicked, one man in the front row closest to Kirk remained calm. The woman beside him ducked instantly, but he didn't flinch. Instead, he smiled slightly, watching Kirk fall before finally crouching down. 1 second before the shot, the black-suited bodyguard tapped his arm like a Morse code signal. The white-suited guard adjusted his hat and touched his earlobe. At the same moment, the man in sunglasses also touched his arm, mirroring the black guard's gesture. Their synchronized movements exposed a deeper coordination. With the rooftop shooter, they formed a deadly ring around Kirk. The shooter had been waiting in a nearby building. After firing, he calmly escaped down an external stairwell, then re-entered the scene disguised as an injured bystander, hiding his gear in his pant leg to observe the aftermath. All signs point to one conclusion. Kirk's death wasn't random. It was a planned operation involving the shooter, the bodyguards, and even someone in the audience.
This is a comment from TikTok that I got because I don't know anything about guns. If anyone is watching and knows anything about guns, say it in the comments down below. What do you believe? What kind of gun or round it was? This is what the comment says. Any avid hunter will tell you without a doubt there is no ricochet of a .30-06 round at 200 yards. It is driving clean through and leaving an exit wound bigger than a baseball, no debate. That is a small caliber wound at muzzle velocity, inflicting minimal expansion. IMO, this is all just to set up a future location to orchestrated an attack on the real target where there is minimal planning or research and time to secure properly, especially if something is already in place. This seems like it's all a play put on by sick individuals. Another comment, the shooter is not the kid they arrested, not a coincidence. Charlie spoke to Megyn Kelly days before about Israel controlling the US. He would not be bought. Why would we allow Israel to have handlers, AIPAC, for every senator and congressman? Ask yourself that question. Look up the Sapria Foundation that Derek and Shalane Maxfield own, that also own the place that left 20 minutes after Charlie was shot. We are being lied to. As I'm recording this video, I had saved videos I found on TikTok for this video to show you. Now, some of the videos, at least 3 or 4 of the videos, are coming out missing. They have been taken down. After the assassination, there was a private plane that left maybe 10-15 minutes after, and 30 minutes in the air was taken off the grid, whatever you call it, which is illegal. Let's find it on X. Since they want to take things down on TikTok, let's find it on X. Here it is on X. Shortly after Charlie Kirk's assassinated, a private jet under tail number N888KG lifted off from an airfield only 12 minutes away. 30 minutes into the flight, it illegally vanished off radar, reappearing later, headed back to Provo. Now, Mr. Maxfield issued a public statement regarding the private plane. Regardless of the statement, it's a pretty long statement, you can read it. The fact is that it was coincidentally off the radar, which is illegal after a coincidentally huge assassination. So whatever statement that they put out, it was still off the radar. That's a fact that cannot be changed. Your plane was off the radar for almost an hour. Who are the Maxfields? That's a good question. Derek and Shalane Maxfield run a non-profit called Saprea that focuses on victims of child sex abuse and have pictures of themselves visiting Israel on Facebook. Supposedly, the jet is owned by Derek Maxfield, a wealthy donor to the Chabad Lubavitch of Utah. The Saprea Foundation, which is the nonprofit that they own, donates to Israeli causes or multiple Israel visits. Would you look at that? I don't know, everything is such a coincidence these days. I don't know why all these coincidences just always point to Israel. It's the weirdest thing. Close friend of Charlie, Candace Owens, came out with a statement saying that she intends to destroy every lie, so be sure to peddle them very carefully. And I believe her. And on Monday, she's going to be coming out with the episode, and I'm looking forward to watching it. Listen, I hope Candace stays safe. I hope she, buys a bunker, has a plan, hires hundreds of security. Clearly, she's gonna need it. If this is all pointing to where we think it's pointing, who knows what whoever's behind this is capable of. Erica posts on her Instagram pictures, and one of them was her with an open casket, and then a video, or somebody took a video of her caressing his hands, which look pretty yellow. I'm guessing that's makeup. People on X were talking about that's a wax figure. That can't be a wax figure because he has bruises on his other hand. And I'm not gonna be posting that on here. It's not a wax figure. His hands just probably have makeup. Now, if the suspect was announced on September 12th, so Erica posted that on September 13th. First of all, when I first was swiping the images, that took me aback because, she's a grieving widow. God bless her and her children. And this complete tragedy that has happened to them should have never happened. I would not have posted that. And so soon after, that same day, Erica comes out with a video in Charlie's office where he had his podcast with a podium addressing the nation, and a lot of people had a lot to say about that. When I saw the video, everyone grieves different. Everyone has a different type of grief. What she seemed to me, she seemed lucid and she seemed very angry, rightfully so. God forbid that was me, but if I would be so distraught, I would be feeling like I'm in a dream, a nightmare, numb, I don't even know what's happening, I want to be alone. The last thing I'm thinking about is addressing the nation, addressing anything, going and having a speech for the internet, posting. I don't want to talk. I'm destroyed. Maybe her faith is so strong that she just has a different way of grieving. Maybe she's cried so much in the past 2 days prior from that she wants to speak and she wants to be angry and she wants to say what she has to say. People were accusing the video of being AI. I don't think that video is AI. I don't think there was any inconsistencies in the video, and especially seeing how her face was full of emotion. She was having a lot of she was smiling, she was angry, she was sad. There was a lot of emotion for it to be AI. People were going and zooming in to the video. That's how you know AI is scary, because you want to make sure it's real. The only thing that people were thinking that was AI, saying that the video was a little off, is probably because there's a filter over her face, cover, the tears from ruining the makeup. That's normal. I was going to talk about the crime stories that was happening in this country because it was getting so consecutive, and then I started seeing that this one was not a normal regular crime incident. Blue versus red, transgender versus whatever they want you to believe that it was. It is not. Clear as day, it is not. There's a bigger machine pulling the strings behind the curtain, and it is the names we do not know that we should be worried about. I think this was planned. I think this was calculated. I think there was strategy. I think this was planned for. They had time to plan this because this tour had been announced. They want you to believe that this is about guns. This is not about guns. They wanted you to believe that it was about transgender. It was not about transgenders. Clearly the suspect, the cover-up suspect that they got is not transgender. And I want to make this very clear. We have lost one of the most important voices in our nation. There is so much polarizing emotions coming up online about Charlie, so much misinformation about him, about people that really never even listened to him, want to misunderstand him, want to misunderstand his message, want to misunderstand his opinions, want to take words out of clips and piece them together to fit their agenda. I'm not here to talk and convince anyone about anything. Believe what you want to believe because you are dedicated to want to misunderstand him, and nobody is going to convince you anything. If he was racist, find the video. If he was homophobic, find the video. If he was fascist, find the video. You can't because it doesn't exist, and I refuse to be used as a demographic, a statistic, a box to check off on someone else's agenda who does not serve my best interest. I want to know the truth. I don't like being used or taken advantage of, and neither should you. For so many generations, political parties have tried to use minorities and groups to their advantage, to fit their agenda, to use you as puppets, to make you believe that they're for you. I thought Charlie was so brilliant. The way that he would communicate with the students, the way that he would communicate in conversation and debate, asking you questions, listening to what you believe in, and then asking you, making you wonder what you're saying. A lot of people believe in things and they don't even know why they believe in them because they're sold propaganda. And that's what we need. People that question everything. Question everything. I love listening to Candace Owens. I love listening to Tucker Carlson. Yes, they're conservative. I don't think they're far-right conservative. Some people call them far-right conservatives. People are crazy. People want to radicalize people for the most normal things. These people are not far-right conservatives. Especially Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, that even they question Republicans also. I like people that question everything and everyone because that is our responsibility as a people. Not to just believe when we're told the sky is blue, to believe that it is blue. People like to judge a book by its cover. People probably look at me and think I'm a Democrat, or they might think that I'm a Republican because of what I believe in, which is just normal faith, family, country, normal. I don't know why it's so radicalized, so controversial. I don't know why it's controversial to believe in normal things, and what's abnormal is not controversial. I will always seek the truth no matter the color it falls in. Blue, red, purple, green. It's our responsibility as a people to question everything and not be used like puppets by machines of propaganda to push an agenda. Seek the truth and you will always be free. Don't be a puppet for blue, for red, for green, for purple. I don't care. They're transparent when they want to, and when they don't, they're not. We want to know the truth, not what they're feeding us. Another strange video that I think we should talk about. Let's listen to what Marjorie Green has to say.
Israel is the only country I know of that has some sort of incredible influence and control over nearly every single one of my colleagues. And it is, I don't know how to explain it.
No one wants to feel like their position has been bought and paid for, but these politicians, they have. And so I can see why AIPAC would get mad if these politicians then turned on them and didn't support You know, it's like, what did my 3,800 times 3 get me if you're not going to vote for my issues?
Exactly, because AIPAC are Americans, therefore they can legally donate to members of Congress and senators. So let's talk about how that works. AIPAC takes every single that they can, freshman member of Congress, their first year in Congress, they take them on a very special trip to Israel in August. August is our recess. It's our month-long district work period. That's
Dems and Republicans, or just Republicans?
They take both of them. Yes, and they invite pretty much everyone, to my knowledge. So they take them on this trip to Israel. I guess they go on tours all around. I didn't go, so I don't know what they do there. But they take them on tours, like the pictures we've seen recently of the speaker and other members of Congress at the Wailing Wall. Here's what else they do. AIPAC takes influencers. They take really big people like you. They want you to come over there. They want to pull you in because they want to pull you on their side. And why is that? Okay, for members of Congress, every single year, annually, Israel receives, and we have to vote on it. It's a yes or no vote, $3.8 billion in funding for Israel. Now, what does that money mean? Well, they'll say, "Oh, well, this is for Israel. It's them to be able to defend themselves. They're the only democracy in the Middle East. Yep. They're constantly under attack. They're surrounded by their enemies who wants to annihilate them."
That's all true.
Sure, we're not arguing those points. However, let's flip over and look at, what does this mean? Number one, Israel is doing so well with their economy, and I'm excited for them. This is a big deal. I wish we were doing this good. We're $37 trillion in debt. Israel is less than $400 billion in debt. Less than. If you're an Israeli citizen, you have government-funded health care, and you have government-funded college. So why is America having to give Israel $3.8 billion?
Well, that's interesting, Miss Marjorie Green. Thank you for that. Now let's listen what Candace Owens had to say before that.
They are the only country that's allowed to lobby Americans. Like everyone else has to register as a foreign agent and under FARA.
Like with AIPAC or whatever?
Yeah, so AIPAC, the backstory, by the way, before JFK got shot, he was fighting AIPAC. They were previously called, I'm blanking on this, you can look it up. And he was literally saying you have to register under the Foreign Act.
Is that true? Let's look it up.
1000% true, and you should look it up. We should fact check that live. He was fighting with what is today known as AIPAC. Was renamed AZCPA. I don't know what that stood for.
In 1959, AZCPA was renamed AIPAC and American Israel Public Affairs Committee, reflecting a broader membership and mission.
Yeah, so JFK told them that they had to register under FARA. And so American Zionist Council, that's exactly what it was called.
Okay, American Zionist Council was a pro-Israel lobby in the United States founded in 1949. It represented 9 nationwide Zionist organizations in matters related to...
See at the bottom there? In 1962, look at the last paragraph. In 1962,
President John F. Kennedy and his brother Bobby, as the U.S. Attorney General, forced the AZC to register as a foreign agent. In doing so, they were barred from making monetary contributions to U.S. officials. Who was barred? AZC?
Yeah, so AIPAC, for lack of a better term. They were called AZC back then, but continued to send out newsletters and hold events with a nonprofit tax exemption. And then what happened was he was shot. So he literally, they were writing him letters. You can find this. This is all this is available information. And he was like, you need to register, you need to register, you need to register. And then we told you to register. Why are you not registering? This makes no sense. And then AIPAC got lucky because he got shot and killed.
What also you could
So they are the reason why I'm bringing this up is not to further conspiracy theories. They're the only country that's allowed to lobby Americans are not registered under the FARA Act. And so when you see these
under
people,
the what act?
FARA. So that's like if you're a foreign agent, you have to basically register, your communications are monitored, all of this stuff. But for whatever reason, Israel is an exception to this. And the reason is because JFK got shot, because otherwise they would have been under this. So that is the reason that they're allowed to do this. And so, when this... And then, of course, we're not allowed to read the files.
Well, that's an interesting fact. Maybe that's why Israel has so much control over America. Aside from the Epstein topic, that's just a whole nother topic, a whole nother rabbit hole. Let me explain to you something. This is America, This is not Israel. This is ridiculous. This should not be happening. Another strange pattern was that Charlie was pro-Israel for some time until recently he started changing his tune and started disagreeing with some things and making them public. And here are some of the videos.
However, and I will say this, the behavior by a lot, both privately and publicly, are pushing people like you and me away. Not like we're going to be pro-Hamas, not like we're going to, but we're like, honestly, the way you are treating me is so repulsive. I have text messages, Megan, calling me an anti-Semite. I am learning biblical Hebrew and writing a book on the Shabbat. I honor the Shabbat. Literally the Jewish Sabbath. I visit Israel and fight for it. And there's another article out in the Times of Israel today. I could read it on air. I was just reading before I got on. Charlie, what are you doing? Like, why are you... What am I doing? I'm sorry. Like, let's just take a step back here. Like, I'm an American citizen. Yes, I want Israel to win. Yes, I'm a Christian. But, like, some of the mess... And you saw... And you've seen how I've been treated, Megan. By some, not all, by some.
No, it's very irritating.
It's
been so unfair. They were coming after you after Turning Point for, among other things, that you had Dave Smith there. Dave Smith is allowed to criticize Israel. You had both sides. The Israeli side was overrepresented.
Though. No, you're not allowed to. It's even worse than that. Again, I just want to repeat for the 5th time. I love Israel. I want Israel to win. But my moral character is now being put into question, Megan. Not my decisions. Not like, hey, are you doing this? Is it smart or is it dumb? But no, I am a bad person if I do this.
July 11th.
If you care about the Jeffrey Epstein scandal.
Raise your hand if it matters a lot to you. Raise your hand. So every hand of 7,000 people.
He was recently starting to push for the Jeffrey Epstein files to be released.
I think the DOJ should immediately move to unseal all the Epstein documents in the Southern District of New York.
Yeah. Everything. Everything except child sexual assault material.
I think every file should be released to the public the same way as the JFK files.
Let's have a lot of explaining to do, a lot of decoupling to do, because Jewish donors have been the #1 funding mechanism of radical, open border, neoliberal, quasi-Marxist policies, cultural institutions, and nonprofits. This is a beast created by secular Jews. And now it's coming for Jews, and they're like, what on earth happened? And it's not just the colleges. It's the nonprofits, it's the movies, it's Hollywood, it's all of it.
And then there was this tweet that came out by Harrison H. Smith on X, reading, I'm not gonna name names, but I was told by someone close to Charlie Kirk that Charlie thinks Israel will unalive him if he turns against them. Another strange thing that Bibi came out on emphasized American national television to say that he magically knows the shooter was an Islamist. Another weird thing that Bibi Netanyahu claimed on national American news channel, emphasis on American, magically knew that the shooter was Islamist without no announcement being made. The suspect, they were still looking for him. Nobody knew anything. He just came out and said that it was because he clearly has an agenda. How are you going to make a statement and you don't even know what the is going on? After this horrific tragedy, there was something key that Theo Von came out and said that I resonated with, and I was feeling the same way also.
It feels like some people in the world, like some like dark and powerful people, know what's going on and they're not telling the rest of us. I think that feels like what's happening sometimes. And I don't know if I'm the only person that's feeling that. I feel like they all know something that's happening. It always feels like there's something bigger and eviler in the distance, hiding behind something that's kind of laughing a little.
Tucker Carlson questioning Ted Cruz about AIPAC.
I've never taken money from the Israel lobby. Have you?
Taken money from the Israel...
From AIPAC.
So AIPAC raises a lot of money for me, but it's actually a misnomer because the people who raise money are individuals. Right. So it's not the PAC itself, but they're individual members who believe in the American-Israeli friendship and relationship. Is
AIPAC a foreign lobby?
No, it's an American lobby. It's the AIPAC stands for the America-Israeli Political Action Committee.
What does it lobby for?
So, to be honest, not a whole lot effectively. Listen, I I came into Congress 13 years ago with the stated intention of being the leading defender of Israel in the United States Senate. And I've worked every day to do that. AIPAC, a lot of times, AIPAC, I wish were much more effective. Like, there are folks online who are in the fever swamp of terrified of AIPAC, and AIPAC...
I'm not terrified of AIPAC at all. You're the one who seems a little uncomfortable when I'm asking.
No, not uncomfortable at all.
I'm just asking what AIPAC does. My understanding, having known a lot of people who work at AIPAC, is that it lobbies on behalf of the Israeli government.
Wrong.
Oh, okay.
It's
when was the last time AIPAC took a position that deviated from Prime Minister Netanyahu?
All the time.
Name one.
Okay. Let me go back and give a little history. If you want to do a deep dive on AIPAC,
I don't. I want to do a shallow dive that gets.
No.
I want to get to the core question. AIPAC is lobbying for a foreign government, and I don't. It's not. It's lobbying for the United States.
It is lobbying for a strong U.S.-Israeli relationship.
Okay. So it's not has nothing to do with the foreign government.
It wants America and Israel to be closely allied.
Okay.
Excuse me? Not excuse me, excuse you. Are you out of your mind? Our senators have babysitters.
AIPAC. Do you actually know what it is? I've graded the financial integrity of over 200 members of Congress, and if you've ever checked out my comment sections, you've probably seen a group called AIPAC referenced. My goal is that after you've watched this video, you understand what AIPAC is, what it's not, and its true influence over American politics. So, AIPAC, or the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, is a lobbying group that's comprised of AIPAC-PAC, which generally contributes directly to candidates, and their affiliated super PAC, United Democracy Project, which by law has to spend and advocate independently from the campaigns they are supporting. Ideologically, as an organization, AIPAC is fully committed to the current Israeli government. This includes denying the UN report of famine in Gaza, casting doubt on the civilian casualty numbers reported in Gaza, and full support of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. As far as influence, AIPAC-PAC raised and spent roughly $57 million last cycle, while United Democracy Project raised $87 million and spent $61 million. This is a large part of the picture, but not the whole story. AIPAC claims a network of over 5 million members. They utilize this network through the featured candidates section on their website, as well as email and text campaigns that fundraise on behalf of endorsed candidates. By law, AIPAC can only give $10,000 directly to a candidate, so if you're looking at a source like AIPAC Tracker and they're showing this large sum of money coming from AIPAC to a particular candidate, they're overwhelmingly talking about individuals that have been giving through these website links or these email and text campaigns. As for impact, last cycle they endorsed 75% of members of the House and 84% of senators that were up for election. They take credit for unseating Democratic progressives Cori Bush and Jamal Bowman. So does AIPAC determine everything that happens in American politics? No. But they do have a large presence.
And a reminder, these people work for us. We don't work for them. Listen, you guys, I'm not an expert in reporting the news, putting pieces together. I am just like you. I go on social media, but I ask questions, I pay attention. I don't believe everything that I see or read. There's several conspiracies online that I've debunked that don't make sense, but things are looking weird. There's many holes in their story that they're trying to shove down your throat. It does not make sense. Clearly, we have seen there is a pattern from last year's attempted assassination. If there is a root, there's a root problem. That is clear. There is a root problem. They keep trying to hide something from being released. They don't want to release files. They want to cover and hide, and these things keep on happening. So we're just gonna continue to live like this in fear. People are just gonna get shot. Like, this is not Colombia. Assassinations cannot be happening. Violence has no place in America. If it has no place in Dubai, it has no place in El Salvador. America has no excuse. This is the first world power. Are you okay? We are Americans. It should be America first. If there's something dangling over America, then it needs to be revealed so that this does not continue to happen. As long as something is being hidden and something dangled over this country's head, things will keep on happening and nobody will know why. Nobody knows nothing about Kirk'S. Nobody knows nothing about that kid's life. Everything has been a cover-up. Nobody's gonna know nothing about this one's either. Nobody knows nothing about JFK. So things are feeling a little different now because there's cameras everywhere. AI is the new Google. You ask anything, there's the answer. There's an answer for every question. TikTok, you have X, you have AI, you have ChatGPT. There is no reason to be ignorant. You want an answer? You'll find it. It's there. It exists. It's going to be a lot harder to be hiding things from people. The truth is always going to come out. It may take some time, it may take years, but at the end of everything, it's going to come out, and I am looking forward to seeing when it does. You know, this video, I don't know how long it's been and how much information I have plugged into this video for you guys to see, because I wanted to take pieces from everyone that I've been getting to really string a thought together and make you guys think a little, maybe open up a conversation. May God bless the Kirk family. I know God is watching over them. My deepest condolences and prayers go to the Kirk family, that poor woman, wife, and her 2 kids. This should have never happened. Make sure you all tune in to watch Candace Owens' episode on Monday, and I know she will be debunking a lot of stories and getting to the truth. If anyone can get to the truth, it's Candace Owens. We need people like her. I hope God has his hands over her, protecting her. I hope she gets a bunker somewhere. I hope she buys protection, a bunch of security. She already has France after her. She's probably gonna have another country after her pretty soon, God forbid. Before I go, I want to leave you guys with something that Charlie said that I think it's important for all of us to keep in our hearts, in our minds, and it's very important.
When people stop talking, really bad stuff starts. When marriages stop talking, divorce happens. When civilizations stop talking, civil war ensues. When you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to want to commit violence against that group. What we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have a reasonable disagreement where violence is not an option.
That's a leader. And that's it, you guys. That's all the information I was able to gather for you that I thought was gonna be useful to make maybe think about different ways. Thank you for taking the time out to listen. Thank you for watching this video. If you're new here, welcome. Comment down your thoughts in this video. I really would love to read them. Like this video if you found it interesting, if maybe there was something new that you saw or heard, and subscribe to the channel because you never know what else might come up and what else I'll be talking about. I'm going to be talking about everything. I am more than makeup and dresses. I refuse to be manipulated by the media, by politicians, by propaganda. The truth is black and white. So if the goal was to silence Charlie, it backfired because the truth is going to come out. I'll see you guys on my next video. Love you.